All right, guys, we got Justin back in the booth now.
We are back here for round two, and it looks like we got a little more meta matchup for you guys.
Yeah, a couple of more mainstream decks that we're used to seeing. So,
On the left, we got Brian with Luke Ray, and on the right, Shelby with Vader Guard. So a pretty thematic matchup as well. This will be interesting.
yeah, the movie scenes all over again.
Who do you give the edge to here?
I'm gonna give it to Vader Guard. I know.
Why is that?
I know Shelby. Shelby's been playing this deck for a few weeks now. He's getting more comfortable with it. So Vader's going to be basically counteracting Luke's ability. They're going to offset each other. Luke draws his card. Vader's going to make a discard a card.
So that's one less reroll for Brian, basically.
Yeah, I just think.
That does give Brian a little more flexibility in what he discards, though. If he's
he's still getting kind of sift through his, pick and choose, I guess.
Especially because with Ray on the field, he's going to be a little bit faster. So if he does activate Luke before Shelby activates Vader, he'll be able to just have a little more flexibility in what he discards.
Right,
having that extra card.
I think I still give the edge to the Vader guard deck. Guard's going to help keep Vader alive, and as we all know, Vader hits hard. Now, I'm hoping to see a My Ally is the Force on the Luke Ray side.
That's definitely something that Shelby needs to be a little worried about. I don't know if he runs Abandon All Hope, but that is a very good villain blue card to use to be able to stop your opponent's power plays. Like that.
And now Shelby brings Maz's Castle to the table. What do you think about that battlefield choice for Vader Guard?
I like it. I used it in when I ran Vader Raider originally when SOR was first released, and it really helps you to find your force strikes and force illusions and things to isolations, things that help keep Vader alive
mitigation
longer.
and card damage.
And get what you need in the relevant matches.
So it looks like we're having some trouble with a card here.
But I did also run Maz's Castle originally in my Vader Guard deck when I transitioned to that after the Fast Hands errata. But then I decided to switch to Secluded Beach because it doesn't hurt the Vader Guard deck in any way.
Yeah.
At least the one that I was running, I didn't have Holocron with either Force Push or Force Lightning, so
it can help you, but it will never hurt you.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I like Maz's Castle personally. Coming from a Magic background, anytime I get to draw and pick and choose what I want in my hand for the next round, I'm happy with that. My first store championship, I ran Jabba Unkar, and I actually ran it with Maz's Castle as opposed. I can't remember the other battlefield most people were using with it back then, but I actually ran it with Maz's Castle, trying to help me dig for those prized possessions, blackmail, stuff like that. So I really like Maz's Castle, and I think that could be a really good choice for a Vader Guard deck. So
the only real downside about it is that it doesn't hurt your opponent. There's no negative effect when you claim it for them.
Yeah.
And it actually helps them out when they're able to claim. So it's just a matter if you want to, take a neutral battlefield that could help your opponent.
That's the choice with any time you're building a deck. Do I take a battlefield that helps me a lot, but more than likely is also going to help my opponent if he claims? Or do I take a battlefield that helps me none, but gives absolutely no effect to my opponent if he claims? Or do I take one, there are rare instances where you can pick one that hurts you 0, but only helps you a little bit, possibly, depending on what deck you're playing.
So target priority is going to be really important here. If you're Luke Ray, who do you go after first? Because I'm really tempted. I've seen several Vader Guard games where they get off a price of failure, turn 3 or 4, and it's just GG right there. So Luke Ray has a lot of burst damage that it can do, and I think you focus fire on that guard and just get him out of the way. And that also, because it is a mono blue deck, Shelby has very limited control options, and
Yeah.
if you take out the guard, he loses an additional control option.
Yeah, that's true. I this is a problem for me a lot. I'm always second guessing myself when it comes down to matchups like that. I tried several times when Vader Raider was out for the errata, going for the Raider first, going for the Vader first. I couldn't really find a comfortable choice, something that I was going to do every time. I think it came down to me. I think what I leaned on more was if I was going to burst damage, a lot of damage, and either put the secondary character down to 1 health or take him out in one shot, I would just take him out. If whatever I'm playing, if I'm just going to be pinging 1, 2, maybe 3 damage here and there, I usually ended up going after Vader.
So it looks like Shelby won the roll-off, and he's deciding to go with Brian's battlefield, so he gets those 2 shields, and we got a 15 health Vader right now.
So now with Vader shielded up, I think I would definitely shoot at the guard after the rollout, and him choosing my battlefield, that gives you a few alarms go off. So
holdout blaster coming down right away.
Double actions.
2 actions. So roll Luke, resolve Luke.
I think you throw Luke out. Yes.
And now let's see if he remembers to draw a card. Luke is one of
the most forgotten card abilities in the game, I think.
Exactly.
And he has not drawn a card yet, so I think he has forgotten to.
So it looks like he's not afraid of those shields and goes ahead and decides to do the 3 to Vader.
Leaves his dice in the pool. There we go.
No, there we go.
I think Brian. I don't think Brian's been playing very long. He's still a newer player, learning some of the mechanics and stuff. So, I mean, that's not a big deal. I forget to take my dice down sometimes when you get excited about damage rolling out, but it's not a big deal.
So Makashi training coming down on Vader, that is going to be really important in this matchup.
Yes.
It gives you an automatic control option every turn if you roll a melee side.
And we are likely to see a vibro knife coming out of Luke Ray, so he's definitely going to have targets for his for the Makashi. Do you going after Vader with the shields on him? You like that decision?
Like I already said, even if the guard has shields on him, I might kill the guard.
Yeah, go straight after the guard.
I hate it when my opponent.
And
I hate it when my opponent plays cannon fodder and best defense and tells me where my damage goes. I want to put it on a certain character.
Okay, so he's overwriting with the Ray staff, knocking that holdout blaster. So there's yet another target for Makashi on Shelby's side.
It's interesting since Brian is using the holdout blasters in his deck as an additional action sheet for Ray, that he's not using the Starship Graveyard to be able to get those back and repeat that every single turn.
Yeah, that would be very nice. So, nice roll from Ray there. Got 3 showing, but also Makashi on the other side. He'll have a chance to resolve that, though.
So the Guardian is taking away that 1 damage.
One of the most irritating abilities. Not only can you can potentially control multiple dice with it, just like we saw there.
But that's not going to stop Brian from being able to play this synchronicity here.
Yeah.
Which is going to be another 2 damage probably to Vader, since he's shown us that he's going for him.
Stick with him. If you hit it, stick with it. So now on the other side of the board, me personally, I usually went after Luke first if I sat down across from a Luke Ray.
You always go for Luke. A single die Ray is a sad Ray, I've always said.
And usually, and my justification for it was usually after the first 2 to maybe 3 rounds, Ray's action cheating is slowed way down.
I mean, think about it for a second. Luke with 2 dice does 6 damage. Ray with 1 dice can do a maximum of 1 damage without any upgrades.
But I have seen quite a few people who will shoot Ray first. They'll go after Ray first. But like I said, me personally, I'm gonna shoot. Oh my goodness, is that
5 damage?
5 damage on Vader's side, and that's what Vader does. And there goes the discard from that.
And Brian, I imagine he's going to play this confidence on the Vader shield because you do not.
You don't want to reroll.
Or maybe he plays on the melee damage to get rid of the modifier.
But you're still taking the damage from that, so I almost want to say that I'd probably do the shield myself, because now he can just re-roll into another 2 or 3 on that Vader die with the shield.
Right. Or 4-strike.
Or 4-strike.
I mean, he did spend his 2 ratios on that Makashi training, but it looks like he has an Enrage in hand.
Yes, Enrage, such a good card. I personally undervalued that card so much when I first started playing Destiny. I was like, well, I don't want to hurt one of my characters to, get 1 resource, but such a good card.
So she'll be playing Trust Your Instincts, deciding which die to reroll, as it doesn't only let you reroll
And a
the
card
dice
draw
of one
for
character.
that. Another wonderful card. 1 card draw and reroll some dice for free, right?
That's another card that
He rolls. Looks like he rolls a resource.
it always feels weird to me to include in decks because it does what you can do with any card. You can discard any card to reroll.
But it replaces itself.
It does replace itself. It
yeah, I
helps
see
you
what
cycle
you're
through your
saying.
deck.
It's situational. I mean, he could, obviously he can't re-roll his guard die there. If he had just discarded, he could have re-rolled his guard die as well. But in this instance, what are you hoping to see on the guard die?
So Luke decided to take that shield. He did have a willpower in hand. I don't know. I might have been greedy, like just gone for more damage.
Well, there's
But
one
I
stick
suppose
on the guard.
Shelby still has that Makashi training ability. He could have potentially done.
Yeah, and I will note that Shelby looks like Shelby has chosen to go after Rey first, and there's that shield again on Vader. So Brian's gonna claim. And is that armory, secret armory, or what battlefield is Brian?
Echo
doing?
base.
Echo base.
So he gave
Yeah.
Luke an additional shield.
Yeah. Okay. Echo base. Looks
So
like we're just gonna
we got
reset.
5 damage on Brian's side of the board, done, and 4 damage on Shelby's side. So pretty even trade-off, and both have a 2-cost upgrade out. So it's still looks like it might be a pretty close game. Both players have shields on their main characters, which I don't think will... The Vader shield will definitely have an impact, but because Shelby has decided to go for Rey, he'll likely draw into his Vibro Knife once Luke is fully shielded up and just cut right under those.
Vibro knife on Vader. Ugh, don't get me started. I've lost so many games to a vibro knife wielding Vader that it's not even funny.
So it looks like Brian's got a My Ally is the Force in hand, and a Synchronicity, and a Guard. So definitely probably looking to get that, both the Synchronicity and the Willpower off, I'm guessing. Ooh, and a Riposte. So he's got a lot of out-of-hand damage he could potentially do.
And if any damage coming out of your hand as opposed to resolving a dice, it's almost like a double whammy to me. It's damage your opponent's not expecting.
Especially when it's things like Synchronicity
Yeah.
and Bait and Switch that's completely free.
Yeah.
So Rey coming in,
Rolling hot again.
same roll. I mean, Rey's staff is definitely one of the most consistent dice in the game. I think it's really a really undervalued upgrade in Blue Hero.
Maybe that's why Rey's rolling her double sticks modified there, because she's got her staff.
I wouldn't doubt it. So Shelby
Gonna
wisely
guard,
guardioning the 1 damage from the Rey staff again.
Rolling a shield on the guard. And I think Shelby's kind of Shelby's set up pretty well right now. His guard doesn't have much damage, so he's not afraid to guardian anything away. Vader doesn't have much damage and has a shield, so Rey's sitting with 5 health left.
So Brian's deciding to go ahead and willpower. I think I would have rolled Luke to try and get off My Ally's the Force play, but now he doesn't have the resource for that.
And get card draw if he remembered it. That
And
Luke's
now
ability is so good. I don't see how many.
willpower lets you move a damage from an exhausted character to an exhausted character, so he's technically not able to move the damage onto Vader because Vader is not exhausted.
Right.
So Brian is just rethinking that and deciding.
Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and do it. Looks like.
So, and he's doing it onto the Royal Guard. So the Royal Guard has 3 damage on him.
Which is not necessarily a bad thing. Like I said, if you're going after guard, taking away guardian ability is a plus in your column off the bat. So maybe you made up my mind for me, Justin. Maybe maybe I know who to go after now. Looks like they're still discussing why the damage went over there. So, do you think that card is made better if it's any character, not just an exhausted character, or is it doesn't really?
Oh, definitely, because it can be like backup muscle then in that case.
True, basically.
Because
it's a backup muscle plus you heal one.
Because you can kill a character before they're able to roll out in fast hands or, tactical mastery, activate, and resolve their dice before they're dead.
Lure of power, Justin. Such a controversy in a lot of decks for people. I personally love this card. If you're going to let me add 2 to anything I'm doing, I don't care if it's discard, damage, shields, whatever. I'm just getting to add 2 to it.
Yeah, when the set was first spoiled, I saw Lure of Power and I was like, wow, this is amazing. But the fact that you can't holocron it because it's not technically an ability, I
don't care. I will pay 2 for that every time. So Brian did remember his Luke activation this time. He did draw a card, and it looks like Luke rolled double resource.
So not a great roll. He does have that Ray +2, which is probably going to guard away both Vader dice, I'm guessing.
That would be pretty good play.
So Vader coming in. Let's see what Brian gets rid of. He gets rid of a lightsaber. It was a good choice. And
look at that. +1 from Lure of Power. Yes. Yes. Anything. So now he can disrupt 3 resources, do 4 or 5 melee damage.
Get 2 shields.
2 shields. Love it.
Which wouldn't be too bad
Would
right
not
now.
be a bad play.
So Brian is going to play guard.
Yep.
And likely going to get rid of both Vader dice.
And that third quarter price support guard. I love the artwork on that. That bright blue stands out on that black background. I think it's awesome.
It's a beautiful card, and I look forward to what Fantasy Flight continues to do. Hopefully not many more Mon Mothmas or BB-8s.
Hopefully
as
not.
promos, but
yeah, there were a lot of sad faces when they saw the Nova promos. So
Shelby, I think, is reminding Brian that he needs to remove that Ray dice. Or is he deciding not to?
Oh, they're getting some clarification. So, definitely a good play. So yeah, he's going to take away both Vader dice. So,
And Ray's dice actually does need to be removed.
Ray should be off the board also. And there it goes. Oh, maybe not. So yeah, that Ray dice should definitely be off the board as well. So now we're looking at on Shelby's side, he can still get 2 shields with the guard die and the Lure of Power, which his guard should be exhausted right now also. And that Makashi, he's not going to do him much good right now, even if he rerolls. But the ability on Makashi can still help him. I would be fairly sure to say that Luke is going to have a reroll in his future. So we'll see how that pans out. But definitely a good play. Beneficial on Brian's side to use that guard to guard away both those Vader dice. So now it looks like he's going to riposte and do 2 more to Vader.
And so, even though he did willpower onto that guard, he decided not to switch his target priority.
Yeah, switch his targets. And that guard should be exhausted right now, guys, just for y'all's knowledge.
I think when they were discussing the willpower play, that
it happens. Things
kind of messed up the board.
Things get stood up, things get laid over, so it happens.
So Shelby's got a lightsaber throw.
which he's going to use, looks like. Yes, sir. 2 more damage on Ray.
And a No Mercy. So I would actually probably pitch both of those to try to get that damage on the guard to link up with the modifiers.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on No Mercy. When I first saw it, I wasn't too excited about it. Then it started seeing some play. I tried it out, got excited about it. And then the more I played it, Justin, I lost a lot of enthusiasm for it.
I mean, when you compare it to a card like Lightsaber Throw, which does 2 extra damage, or does 2 damage
and you're only,
for 1 resource.
Yeah, and you're only losing 1 card out of your hand, which is Lightsaber Throw.
Exactly. So, No Mercy is not twice as good as that.
Is that another synchronicity?
It does.
Yeah, he's discarding to reroll his Luke here. It seemed to me like No Mercy. I was only comfortable pitching my whole hand with No Mercy if it was the last play in the game. If I was taking out the very last character, finishing the game with it. So we see that 1 focus on Luke. So I believe he's still holding my allies force, but no resources to play it. So that Makashi might get very relevant here very quickly if he focuses his other Luke die to his 3 sticks.
And that's another card that a lot of people aren't very familiar with, the Makashi Training's ability.
Such a good card. I know I say that a lot, guys, but we're seeing a lot of good cards.
So we'll see if Shelby does remember to use it. A lot of people just play it for simply the die, since it is a decent die if you're able to get the base damage for
Definitely not a bad die.
33% chance of 2 damage. And he rerolls the guard and does get the 1. So we're looking at a dead Ray here.
And again, Lure of Power, making that 1 sticks on guard even better, Justin. I love it. Yep, so there goes Ray.
So Shelby does not use the Makashi Training.
I think to take Ray off the board, I think I'll almost give you the 3. Because now that narrows down, I'm going to be mitigating. You have 2 dice to mitigate the rest of the game. So he went after Ray first, stuck with Ray.
Brian cannot use the +2 from Ray. She's dead.
Yes.
Her dice are gone. And that is a pretty big error.
Yeah, so, that's a pretty pertinent play there.
We're going to get that sorted out.
Yeah, we'll sort that out real quick.
That could have a definite impact on the game.
Yeah. Guys, Ray's dice was removed when he used guard. So that's a definite momentum swing in Brian's favor. That was not played properly. So we're going to get that cleared up real quick. So it looks like Brian's arguing his case. I think we're definitely sitting. It looks like Shelby's sitting in a pretty good position right now. Luke is at full health, but now the mitigation that Shelby does have is a whole lot more. It's going to be more impactful when he does get to mitigate a die now. So he doesn't have to worry about mitigating a whole bunch of dice now, just the 2 Luke dice. So Shelby is sitting in a pretty good position right now, even with the damage showing on Vader. So we get that cleared up, Justin.
Yeah, we got everything sorted out. Again, Brian's a new player, so
we're happy to see him in the community. We always want new players.
Definitely. This is actually his first competitive event for Destiny. So
nice.
We're always excited to get new players and continue to grow.
And you learn every day, guys. I learn new stuff every day. So there are a lot. As new as this game is, it actually has quite a few very intricate card interactions between certain cards. So I mean, there's
it can definitely get complicated, especially with 2 sets out now and a third one coming. It's just there's gonna be the FAQ sheet is gonna get
and it seems like FFG is putting out errata and clarifying FAQs there a lot.
And wow, all sticks from Vader. Is he gonna one-shot Luke? He's got.
Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So close. He dropped the second Makashi on Vader.
And overconfidence coming in. This is a great play.
How about that Lure of Power, Justin? How about that Lure of Power?
So Vader
almost just as good.
And He rolls back into a 3, so this is going to be 8 damage going into Luke right here.
Now,
right now.
overconfidence did help him out a little bit, but Shelby did get a pretty good roll getting that 3 sticks. So,
and yeah, Shelby played that correctly, so that his 1 resource should get removed, and now it's Shelby's action.
well, he added a resource to his side, thinking he was resolving it, not removing the die.
Right.
Yeah. So that's right. The resource die is removed, but he doesn't receive a resource off of that. So,
Man, that
still hurts so much.
This game just took a big swing.
Oh man! And if I'm Shelby right now, I just take that damage. Don't bother doing anything else. Get the damage off the board. Don't give a chance to mitigate.
So where do you think Brian maybe could have done something differently to get back into this game? I mean,
I don't know.
Shelby just
Vader Raiders doing what it's supposed to do. It's kind of hard. I think honestly, the only thing that might have changed things was if he chose to initially target the guard. But I still don't even think that helps. The guard's done 1 damage, and I think got 1 shield for Shelby. So
And Luke wanted to show up his daddy there, rolling 5 damage as well.
I like it. Guarding away 3 of it though.
And Brian, this is his first experience with
oh man, maybe
competitive play, was trying to give Shelby his tokens to use.
Maybe I spoke too soon, because now we see that modified 2 melee on guard. That would have been another 2 if he wouldn't have resolved that damage. I don't know. I still think he resolved the damage.
Yeah, you got to resolve it, because Blue Hero, like a lot of their mitigation is dice based, so you don't want to give Brian a chance to roll out and use either Force Misdirection or guard.
Right. And now we have one of our Twitch viewers actually asked that question. He had Force Misdirection in his hand. Was dropping the Force Speed on Luke actually the right play?
I didn't see that before, but thinking about it, I probably would have rolled out Luke.
You roll out Luke with Force Misdirection in your hand?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that... And actually, I think he also forgot his draw card off his Luke activation again, to be honest with you, which might have helped him potentially. I don't know if Force Speed really helps Brian in this board state. So,
yeah, the biggest advantage of Force Speed in the Luke Ray deck is to roll
Ray.
out Ray and resolve Force Speed to roll Luke.
So that's a good catch.
I do really like. I mean, Force Speed is amazing.
It is
It is
great
such
card.
a good die.
It is. But I do think they're
not even just for the action cheating. Like I'll re-roll it to try and hit that focus or hit the shield.
Totally agree.
Sometimes.
But I do think there's a point in the game where the special on Force Speed is not going to particularly help you. So there might be plays that you'll want to take first before dropping a Force Speed on the board. So looks like we're resetting here and going around 2, and Luke is bleeding badly. That Vader rollout is horrible. So, and then rolling Vader out again.
So not quite as good as last time.
No. Makashi does have a lot of potential showing if he re-rolls a non-modified melee side, or if he gets it off the guard.
So Brian still has that Force Misdirection, so he should definitely roll out Luke right now, so he can get that potentially online. He does. Let's see if he remembers to draw a card this time. Maybe.
Oh, no, there he goes. Got it.
So he's got the melee he needs for the Force Misdirection. Shelby, I didn't see any control in his hand, so he's thinking about taking that on the Guardian. He's got a doubt, use the Force. He does have an isolation, so I would probably just isolate that right now. And it looks like that's what Shelby's doing.
Yep, isolation. Such a good card.
Couldn't help it. Definitely, especially
couldn't help it.
Especially in this meta with Pomaz and Vader and even Unkar. When he hits that +2 resource, being able to pull that off is.
Yeah, I'm definitely willing to mitigate Unkar's modified. Don't get me started.
So playing Force Misdirection on the shield or resource?
The resource.
Resource.
Looks like?
Yep.
Now it does get rid of a Vader die. That's not the worst decision in the world.
Definitely, especially if you have some other form of mitigation in his hand, which he has a force heal, swiftness. I mean, it's really just a lost cause at this point. Luke's only 4 damage away from dying, and
it looks like he reroll?
If Brian could have got off...
Oh, he used the force. Yeah, he used the force for that 3 melee.
So that's game if Brian can't do anything and all he has is upgrades in his hand, so...
Yep, he just shakes the hand. So, Vader Guard doing what it's supposed to do, guys. That's definitely what you want to see from your Vader Guard. You want to be guardian damage with your Royal Guard. You want to be, rolling those big sticks on Vader. So that's definitely what you want to see there. Luke Ray struggling a little bit as far as rolling out.
Yeah, I mean, it really hurt Brian that he didn't get... He did get the holdout blaster early, but he wasn't able to get his vibro knives or force speeds to be able to cheat in Luke even more.
It definitely sets you almost a turn ahead if you can get your 4-speed vibro knife combo on Ray. So
exactly, especially if you roll well, which Brian's Luke did not particularly roll well, and Shelby's Vader did.
It did.
I think a big thing was Shelby was able to drop an upgrade every single turn.
Yes.
In addition to removing a die with the guard.
And I actually played against Shelby in one of the store championships here recently, and he was running this deck, and I beat him. And the main factor contributing to that was Shelby was unable to mulligan for and then draw any upgrades for the first 3 rounds. Vader was sitting naked the whole time, and that's what you want to see if you're sitting across from him. But if you're playing
a naked
guard,
Vader is still really scary with force strike and lightsaber throw.
But I'd much rather see naked Vader than a Vader with a lure power and Makashi on him.
That's true.
Or 2 Makashis or vibro knives. So
exactly.
Drawing and dropping a upgrade every time definitely put Shelby in a better board state for that game. So we'll see. Hopefully, I liked watching that Royal Guard game, that Vader Guard. I might have to build that deck, Justin.
Yeah, it's a deck I really really enjoy, and Trey and I talked about this last week because that was the deck that actually won the TTS Store Championship. It was 90 people, just about, and his build was much different than the one that I ran. His was heavy holocron and force powers, which helps because you're not allowed to play the force powers on the guard directly.
Right.
So you do need that holocron for that. Well, and holocron's just insanely busted. In
Such
general.
a good card.
It's still amazing.
Such a good card.
I'm really surprised we don't see more. I mean, we have the Emo Kids deck and Vader Guard, but those are really the only... I mean, and Vader Raider, I suppose. But it seems like a lot of people have switched over to the guard just for the additional die control. I mean, you lose out on electroshock and bait and switch.
One of our viewers says they missed when Heroes did something. Put POMAs together.
POMAs.
It still works.
It does a lot of things.
It still works. Don't let anybody. If you want Heroes and you want to win, put POMAs together. Don't let anybody talk you out of it.
Or snap solo.
People snap solo. Yes. People frown on POMAs. Whatever. It's a card that's allowed to be used in the game. Use it in the game. Play it. Have fun with Heroes. Justin mentioned this earlier in helping some of our local players and stuff play test for Gen Con this week. He actually put together POMAs.
I did,
and it is not a brainless deck.
I was pretty vehemently against POMAs in the beginning of Spirit of Rebellion. I put it together after a pre-release because I was able to draw and pull
Uncle Ruckus Snap Solo is so underrated.
Anyway,
yes, keep passing the good word.
So I was able to draw and trade into a second mod. So I was like, well, I've been playing Poe Ray for all of Awakenings. I'm going to put together Poe mods because it's going to be insane.
Yes.
And I did, and my opponents were all super miserable. And I didn't feel good about it. Like,
whatever. You're playing the game.
And it doesn't really make sense because I was playing Po Ray, and I would be like,
Yeah.
claim, mind probe, claim, force throw,
Yep.
Po special, like every other turn. And, but Po Maz, something about it just didn't feel right when I was, like, fast hands.
Well, I think a lot of the thing with Po Maz is it was even more consistent than Po Ray. And so you're just consistently seeing damage. And so many people say it is the deck plays itself. And I strongly disagree with that. I have some of the most intensive matches I've played. I was playing Po Maz, and with each interaction, having to figure out, am I trying to throw damage? Am I trying to save Maz? Am I trying to do... I don't know how many games, and people talk, Maz makes Po overpowered, yes. But I've won a lot of games with a suited up Maz doing work. Second chance, heavy blasters.
I mean, that's how you do it, right? Maz with 2 DL44s or a DL44 and a rocket launcher is incredibly scary.
So that's personally, guys, don't let anybody... I don't like hearing when people say, oh, I can't believe you're playing that deck. Everybody, one guy will say, I hate getting milled. Another guy will say, oh, Po Maz, why are you playing that? I hate that deck. But you can say that with anything. Vader guard. Yeah, how are you going to do 10 damage in one roll?
Why are you playing Vader Raider? Raider with the mind probe is broken.
Yeah, so that's the game,
everything's
guys.
broken in this game, guys.
Now around here locally, yes, we do like to have a lot of fun.
Except nines. You can say you hate nines because nines is so
nines is so broken.
He's so okay.
But if you want to play nines, play nines.
Yeah,
don't
play
let anybody
nines.
talk you out of that, guys. That's ridiculous. Fast hands with Maz, Uncle Ruckus. I love this guy. Yes. Fast hands is so good on Maz. I don't know why people took it out. I actually got Brooks Laser, one of our local players, went to Gen Con, played Po Maz. Him playing against me with fast hands still in the deck actually convinced him to put a fast hands back in the deck.
So he played fast hands.
He sent me his deck list yesterday, and I saw one of fast hands, and I cried with joy. It was epicness.
And
fast hands is still so good.
Brooks is one of he's actually the only local Destiny player that was able to make it out to Gen Con this year, and he did very well.
Yes.
We're very proud of him. He
made the top 64 cut, missed the top 32 cut by 2 spots. So shout out to Brooks. We love you, bro. Great job. Glad to see you representing the Houston area. Hopefully this time next year we'll have a whole lot more representation for this area at the bigger events like that. But shout out to Brooks. Excellent job, bro. Can't wait to see how you do at Nova. Now, Justin,
What's up, bro?
Kind of hinted at this on Facebook. We have some content coming out, guys. 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today, after our normal Destiny stream.
What's happening? What's happening, Rob?
I can't tell you, Justin.
You can't tell me.
I can't tell you.
Why can't you tell me? Can we tell them?
No, we can't tell them either.
All right.
But what we can say is we are going to be streaming some content, custom content that I will guarantee you have not seen Destiny games played like this before.
Exactly. Rob, myself, and Paul have been we have been working on a secret format that are going to share with you guys.
We cannot tell you what it is yet. We do not have it finalized, but I believe next week on our stream. I work every other weekend, guys, so once again, you will not see this lovely face next weekend on our stream, but Justin will be here, with a guest commentator, and I do believe we're going to be letting you know then what this format will be, if we all have it finalized, so which I believe we will, but I can promise you have not seen Destiny played in this type of format yet, and it is going to be super fun. So please, guys, tell your friends, post about it. This is going to be awesome.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm so excited about
this. Come back next week. We'll let you know. Come back 2 weeks from now, and you're going to be surprised.
After our normal Twitch stream, you will see this being played, and I think it's going to be so much fun. And if it has a good reception, if y'all guys like it, we're going to make it try to make it a regular thing also. So I want so bad to tell you what it is. I know you. Everybody would just be shouting to the world that this is so awesome that this is going to happen, but we can't tell you yet. So right now we're going to take just a short break, guys, and we'll be back here in just a few minutes with round 3 of our casual Destiny tournament. So anything you want to add, Justin?
Stick around, and we're gonna bring you guys more Destiny.
All right, guys, we'll see y'all in just a few
Peace.
minutes.